Prolite trailers have been made for 25 years. We're celebrating our 25th anniversary. Since then, we've basically been focusing on trying to make camping life, trailer life, as accessible as possible to anyone without the need for a big vehicle. They're designed to be light, economical, easy to use, basically keep you out of the elements, warm, dry, and happy for as long as you're out there camping. Really, the goal is basically to make Prolite and camping for everyone.
Hey folks, Dave from the 6 here, coming to you from Saint Jerome, Quebec. I am at the Prolite factory just north of Montreal, and I've driven all the way up here to show you the Prolite trailers. And today I'm really excited to show you this trailer, which is the Prolite Lounge. And the Prolite Lounge has a couple of claims to fame. Number one, only 1,395 pounds dry. And number two, this is a couples unit. It can sleep three, but it can also have a couch and a dinette set up at the same time, or a double bed and the dinette set up at the same time, even though you're only at 1,395 pounds. So we're gonna do our usual routine. We're gonna go around the outside, we're gonna take a look at the interior, and we're gonna go through some pros and cons. Join me as we go through this incredibly lightweight trailer. And we're gonna start on the utility side of the lounge. We have a 30 amp connector. It's the external kind, so there's no hole in the trailer that mice can get into. We have the inlet and the outlet for the furnace, and we do have a solar plug here as well, which is a nice feature. We have a stabilizer down here, and we have stabilizers on all four corners. I apologize, it's a little bit tight in here. We do have a fridge that can operate on propane as well as electricity. I always love to see that. So you can see the vents for that fridge here. Here we have our water inlet to fill our fresh water tank. We have the city water inlet right here, if you can hook up to city water if you have hookups. Down below here, we have a gray dump. This is not the black dump because this unit has a cassette toilet. Beautiful alloy wheels, which are standard. And here's our cassette toilet right here. And a lot of people don't like cassette toilets, but I don't think they've ever actually tried them. It is very convenient to be able to dump anywhere. So it is only 5 gallons, but the ability to dump it in a toilet really more than makes up for that. You can basically dump them anywhere, pit toilets, you name it. Spinning around to the back, you can see another one of our stabilizers here. Not much back here. We do have a nice little bumper, and we also have our outside shower. So this model does come with an outside shower. You can see that we do have a rear window as well, which we'll see on the inside. All of these are tempered glass, and they're awning style as well, which means that when it's raining, the water can't come into the trailer, which is great. All right, now we're on the camp side. You see that 1,395 pounds, just an amazing weight for a trailer with all these features. So we have our hot water heater here. I believe that's a 6-gallon hot water heater, but I'll put it up on the screen. And we do have a standard awning on this particular lounge unit, and another one of our alloy wheels. You can see a just nice little touch, but this blue light here, which lights up the step area, keep things safe when you're in a dark campsite and you're coming out of the trailer. And we do have an amber porch light as well. This trailer does come with a screen, and in the door you have the shade built in, just like so. So that's always a nice feature to have as well. Single fold-out step. And coming around to the other side of the door, we do have a small outside storage. Actually, the space itself is quite large. I wouldn't mind if this door could just be a little bit bigger. I'm not sure if my barbecue would fit in there or not. It might. It'd be close. I'd have to actually try it to see. But if it could just be a hair bigger, I would really appreciate that. We have two 120-volt outlets, and we actually have a 12-volt outlet as well, so like a cigarette lighter style. And we have another one of our stabilizers down here, as you can see. And then coming around to the nose, and we have a spot for a single propane tank, which isn't installed on this unit. And we have a crank tongue jack, which is fine. These are so light, it's just a piece of cake to crank them up and down. And underneath, you'll see that we have our spare tire. And heading inside the lounge, we do have a nice grab handle to help us get into the trailer. It's not a very tall trailer, so it's just a very easy step up into the trailer. And well, actually, I'm going to step back out and I'm going to give you the lay of the land here. So on the right, we have our couch, which converts into a double bed as well. And then across from the door, we have our kitchen. You can see the fridge, the microwave, sink, everything's there. And then spinning around here, you can see that we have our dinette to the left of the door. And then in the back right corner of the trailer is our wet bath. Let's start with the couch to the right of the door. So this cushion has plywood on the back of it, and basically it's just going to fill in the gap, and I'm just going to show you that now. And there's the couch set up as a bed. Very simple process of putting the board underneath and then just moving the cushion down. And nice size. And I'll just lie down on it to give you a sense of the width of the trailer. So I'm exactly 6 feet tall, and I would say we're exactly 6 feet wide. So I'd be comfortable. Of course, nobody sleeps like this. We usually sleep more like this. So this is going to be plenty comfortable for a 6-footer, even a little bit taller than me. If you're 6'5" and up, you might want a trailer that's a little bit wider. Spinning around from the couch, we'll take a look at the kitchen now, and we'll start at the top. So we do have some storage above the stove here, and it's a nice sized cabinet, and that is deep enough for a full-size plate. I always like to point that out. Sometimes these types of cabinets are not. We have an optional stereo in this particular unit. We have our microwave oven here. As you can see, it's not a convection microwave, just a standard microwave. And below that, we have our sink, and nice size sink with a faucet that does spin. It's not a pull-out faucet, however. And if we just one over here to the stove, we have a 2-burner Dometic stove. Below the stove, we have a Dometic fridge. This is a 2-way fridge. It's the exact same fridge that I have in my trailer, so I can vouch for it. We really like this fridge. It does a great job. We always start it about a day before the trip to let it cool down, and we'll also put all of our stuff in the fridge at home. We'll freeze as much stuff as we can just to help it out a little bit. But even on the trip, if we do a grocery stop, throw stuff in the freezer, it freezes it no problem. Freezer is actually a decent size. It fits a Ben & Jerry's or a Haagen-Dazs ice cream tub, which is the main thing. But you can fit, you know, a few days worth of meat in there as well. So decent little fridge, but I love the fact that it can run on propane as well as electricity. Just takes a little bit of the pressure off of your battery if you're boondocking. Now, beside the fridge, we have a nice big storage area under the sink. And you can see the bottom one, there is the wheel well, takes up a fair bit of the space, but then the one above it is just a huge storage area. So loving that. And the storage theme is going to continue as we go to the left, and we have our pantry. And as you can see, huge amount of storage space in here. So you could use maybe one shelf for food, and then you could use the rest for clothing if you wanted to. And again, huge space at the bottom as well. A little bit of plumbing in there, but by and large, just a ton of storage. So loving that. All right, before we look in the bathroom, we're just going to spin around and take a look at this dinette. And this is a 2-person dinette. Really love the design of it. And probably the best thing about this, though, is it's a spacious 2-person dinette. The seats are nice and large, comfortable looking. But you have your couch/bed here. And the way I would use this trailer, I would have this bed set up permanently as a bed, and then I would do my sitting and my hanging out if it's a bad weather day at the dinette. But you can have your bed and your dinette set up at the same time, which is always a nice thing. I also love that the dinette is on the camp side, so you're not going to be looking at your utilities. If you have hookups and everything, you don't want to be looking at all those hoses. You want to be looking at your campsite. And this does convert down into a small single bed as well. So love the floor plan for couples, and very nice little dinette here. And above the dinette, we have cabinets. I forgot to open them, but we do have them. And you'll also notice that we do have a ceiling fan on this trailer right in the middle, and an air conditioner is optional. Let's spin around and we'll head into the bathroom. And I'm just going to head up to the top so you can see there is a light and a fan. We also have our shower curtain to cover the door right here. And as we spin down, you can see that we have our cassette toilet and the shower pan. Now I'm going to do the size test for this bathroom. Now, if you watch the channel regularly, you'll know that I am 6 feet tall. And so the standing height in this trailer is just around 6 feet. I can pretty much stand up in the trailer. In here, because we're at the curved part of the roof, I'm just a little bit not able to stand up straight. So I would probably sit to take a shower here. Now in terms of sitting on the toilet, however, there's plenty of space. Not a whole, actually, because of the curve, there's a little bit of elbow room on both sides. One thing they don't give you is one of those waterproof toilet paper holders, and I think it's because maybe of the lack of space. So, but I would love to see somewhere or somehow of holding the toilet paper in the bathroom. That is one downside. So I'm going to give this one a thumbs up though, because in the middle of the night, not having to walk to that bathroom in the campground is always a win for me. So another thing I want to point out is that they've changed the design of the curtains. So they used to have kind of like almost a home style curtain with a big curtain rod and everything. And they've gone to a magnetic style. And we'll see if we can pop these open. There we go. And there we go. And you can see, so it's magnetic. It's a complete blackout. So if you want to sleep in, you're not going to have any problem with daylight or anything. And then you can just roll them back up again in the daytime. And we'll see. Looks like I can almost do this with one hand. Yeah, I sped this up because it's definitely more of a two-handed operation, and it took me a little while to get it with a single hand, but eventually I did manage to pull it off. And there we go. So, love that. It's simple. Magnets are not going to break down, and you know, full blackout, you're not going to get any light leaking through at all. So that's a nice update to the curtains that were in the old one. A nice feature to point out in the lounge is that we have a dimmer and also a master switch for controls almost all of the lights in the trailer. And I'll just try to get both the switch and some lights on the screen at the same time. So you can see I can turn them all off and I can turn them on, and I'll just show you the dimmer as well. There you go. And that's something that all of the Pro lights come with. Really nice feature, something that's optional on a lot of other trailers. Before we do pros and cons, I just want to show you one more thing inside, which is this storage area underneath the dinette seat that's closest to the door. And you have a nice large storage area as well. So for such a small, lightweight trailer, we are getting a ton of storage. I love that flexibility too of having either a couch or a bed, and of having your dinette set up all the time, regardless of whether you choose a couch or a bed. You're probably wondering about price. This lightweight trailer has an MSRP of $37,250 Canadian dollars, plus add a $499 prep fee and tax onto that. It's time for pros and cons. Let's start with the pros, and price is related to my first pro, which is value. You get an awning, gas electric hot water heater, furnace, a two-way fridge, a full kitchen, and a dinette, all for under 40,000 Canadian. The only option most people will want is air conditioning, and keep in mind that you don't need a truck to tow it, which means saving money on gas and your vehicle. I see real value here. My second pro is what I'll call the ideal couple's floor plan. It allows for the bed and dinette to be set up at the same time, which means less time converting spaces in the morning and at night. My final and biggest pro has to be the incredibly light base weight of 1,395 pounds. The fact that Prolite achieves this weight with a standard awning and a fully equipped camper is very impressive, and even some tow-rated compact SUVs will be able to tow the lounge. Of course, nothing is perfect, although I feel like I'm nitpicking to find issues here. My first con is shower headroom. It's a bit tight, but still usable. My second con is the small outdoor storage door. I'm not sure if my barbecue would fit through the opening, so I feel like I'd like to see it a bit larger. Finally, I'd love to see a torsion suspension, although I will point out that I've towed a Prolite over long distances before and had zero issues with stability. Still, a torsion axle would smooth out the ride a little bit. When you take it all together, I think this may be the ideal camper for non-truck owning couples or families of 3. Even if you do own a truck, this fully equipped camper could be a compelling option, as the incredibly lightweight will make the towing experience a breeze. What do you think? Is this the ideal lightweight couples camper? Let us know in the comments. And if you'd like to see a bunkhouse Prolite, check out the walkthrough on the screen. Thanks for watching and take care.